Hi, my name is Tanya Ott, and I am just putting together this video at the request of the admins to kind of talk about some stuff from my experience in the tent. Most of you guys know that there are several members of the group that were on the most current season of the Great American Baking Show, season 5. So the finale is tonight. I don't know when you'll see this video, but finale is tonight, so I'm really excited about that. I'll try to just hit a few points. I could talk about baking all day, as I think most of you could, and I can talk about the tent even longer because I loved my experience so much, but I will try to keep this short and concise. One of the questions that the admins mentioned, maybe talking about, was what my favorite bake was in the tent. And I will say that I don't think it'll come as a surprise to anybody that one of my favorites personally was the gingerbread. I love gingerbread. We only had 5 hours, which is tight. It's difficult to do an elaborate structure in 5 hours. But I love the creativity and the freedom that you get when you work with gingerbread, because you literally can take anything that you've seen or that you can imagine and you can just try to make it out of a cookie. So I also love the flavor of gingerbread. So that, I think, was one of my favorite bakes in the tent. There were some that were not my favorites, and I think everybody knows from watching the show, if you've seen it, that I had my fair share of rough bakes. But that's part of the game. That's part of the show. It happens to everybody. I don't think there was a single person in our cast, at least, that didn't have a couple of bakes that didn't go their way. It's just the way things go. I would say, if you were, one of the other questions that they asked were if we had any tips for people who may want to bake in the tent, I would say go for it. I think that everybody can learn from it and everybody has the potential. It's difficult. I will say that it is one thing that you have to prepare yourself for, is that it's a huge time commitment. It does take a lot of time to prepare for it. The way the British and the American versions prepare is a little bit different, in that I think the British version, they have a little bit more time to prepare, and then they have more time in between episodes, whereas we only had 1 or sometimes 2 days off between filming episodes. The British bakers go home for a week, so they have a little bit more time for practice. And then also the American version, we had I think it was about 3.5 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, to prepare all of our recipes, prepare our home for being gone for a month, all the different things that you have to do, get together all of your ingredients that you're taking with you. So it's a lot. It's a huge time commitment, and it is a little bit different. But I think that the production company and the culinary producer, I think I wanted to impress her as much as I wanted to impress Paul and Sherry. They're all they're there for you. They really are interested in your success and trying to help you through the entire experience. So they're amazing people to work with. So I would say go for it. One thing about being in the tent that is not baking related that you would want to prepare yourself for is there are going to be people who don't like you. You kind of have to prepare yourself for that negativity. I am trying to filter out and not paying attention to the negative comments about the show or about me specifically or about the bakers, because all of the bakers are basically my family now, and if somebody makes a negative comment about any one of us, it hurts. So, I mean, there are going to be people who don't like you. You're going to get negative feedback from the judges. You're going to have failures. You're going to, at the end of the day, they are making a TV show. So if you drop a cake or if your bread completely fails, they're going to film it, and it's going to be hard, and you're going to know that people are going to see that, and that's really hard to be a part of. Sometimes you just want to throw your hands up in the air and walk away, but you just got to keep going. You're going to have failures. You're going to have things that the judges don't like, and they're going to film your reaction when the judges are telling you that what you made is horrible. So I guess my advice in that instance, because I did that a few times, is just try to take the advice that they're giving you, because they really are there to make you better. Just take the advice, learn from it, and try to incorporate it into your further bakes. I do hear people say a lot that they don't know how somebody could take criticism from one bake into the next bake, especially when we only have 1 or 2 days off between episodes. But you can. You really can learn from it. You really can develop as a baker within just the time frame, the short time frame that we're there making the show. If you want to learn from it and if you're open to it, then you really can progress. I know that since I got back from the UK, I've become a much more adventurous baker. I've become much more detail oriented, which most people would never believe because they thought I was so overly detail oriented before. But yeah, I think about things that I never even knew were an issue or a problem in my baking because of the feedback that the judges gave me. And that was really the main reason that I was there. That was why I wanted to go and be a part of the tent, was to learn. I've never had, everybody likes my bakes at home. Everybody, doesn't matter if they're a little bit overdone, a little bit underdone, or if they're not presented exactly the right way. My husband, my kids, my neighbors, they eat them anyways. But it was really good to hear how to make things better. And that's really what Paul and Sherry are there for. So I had a great time. I learned so much, and I'm so much better at baking than I was before. I would say if you want to bake in the tent, or even if you don't, just keep in mind that you're going to have failures. You're going to have things that don't work. And the key is to just get back in the kitchen and keep baking, whether you're in the tent or at home. Start over if you have to. Try something different the next time. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to just try different techniques and see what works and what doesn't. And sometimes I'll take a recipe so far that I make so many changes that eventually I break it and it doesn't work. And then I know, okay, that's as far as I can go. I need to take a step back. So I think that's the fun thing about baking. You're never going to know everything. You're never going to master everything because there's just so many things to learn and make. So I would say if you want to be in the tent, go back and study and watch some of those other shows. Maybe try a little bit of everything. Make sure that, if you're a cake person, make sure you make some breads. If you've never made phyllo before, because most people buy their phyllo, right? Make it at home at least once, just so that you know some of the pitfalls. You're never going to be 100% prepared for that tent. It's just not possible. But just try different things and keep going. And I highly encourage everyone to give it a chance, because it was the time of my life. If you have any other questions, baking related or tent related or whatever, just let me know and I would be happy to answer them. Thanks so much for your time. Bye.